I want you to imagine what it would look like if Donald Trump were placed in jail for an hour, for a day, for a week. Think about that. Think what would happen politically. Think what would happen to his cause. Think what would happen to his popularity. Think of what it would cause the rest of the world, which apparently we don't care about. But how would we look to the rest of the world? For a man, former president of the United States, one of the most popular, as he embarks upon his re-election, to be sidelined, to be arrested prior to his, let me say this again, re-election by a corrupt system that couldn't beat him any other way. That couldn't beat him on the issues, couldn't beat him on the facts, on the realities. No. They had to put him in jail, in prison. Think about that. And I also want you to think about what it would mean to his popularity. Now, Trump lives in a different world, a different polarity, a different universe, a different everything. He's not one of us. He's not. He doesn't play by the rules. The rules don't apply to him. He's a person who decided, I'm going to run for office for the first time as president. Not county commission, not mayor, not governor, not senator, not congressman. President. And he won. Not only won, but knocked out an absolute juggernaut of the biggest names in Republican politics anybody'd ever seen. I mean, everybody. Remember, Prescott Bush's son, or grandson rather, was going to run. This was, I mean, old money, old politics, old everything. And Trump just destroyed them. Then came Hillary. She didn't know what hit her. Every poll said, she's got it. And he wins. He goes in. Unemployment plummets. African American, Asian, Latino. Not at war. The economy is humming. And then COVID. We'll get to that some other time. But I think you know where I'm going with that one, don't you? I think you know where I'm going with that one. But in the meantime, he decides to run. And he runs against a man who, as we speak, sad to say, is befuddled, decrepit, sidelined, destroyed, hobbled by who knows what. Does it really matter? Whether it's plain old senescence or Alzheimer's, or does it really matter? Does it really matter? As a friend of mine once asked, would you let Joe Biden drive you home from the airport? But as we speak, this case in New York, which is the worst, I've provided a link to the indictment. Please read it. Please, you have to see for yourself the indictment. But we have a judge who said, I'm going to throw you in jail if you miss just one day. And there's talk about President Trump wanting to attend his son's graduation. I promise you, there isn't a judge anywhere, who would not allow a father to attend their son's graduation. Do you understand that? There is not a father who would not be able to attend. No judge would order it. They make allowances in mob cases, unless you are maybe John Gotti, or maybe a serial killer, or maybe when you are on some kind of arrest, but he's on bond. He's not going to flee. He's kind of well known. He doesn't pose a risk to society, doesn't pose a risk to anybody. He comes back and forth. He also is not being allowed to attend the Supreme Court, to campaign as Joe Biden is. I mean, this is unprecedented. You know, and I know what's happening. They can't beat him, so they're going to sideline him. They're going to sideline him because that's the way they work. That's the way these people play. And I don't know anything about this judge personally. I know there's been some questions about whether his daughter might be so well positioned and well connected with Democratic campaigns that such might provide the appearance of impropriety, the appearance of, perhaps a conflict of interest, a la Fannie Willis. This might be a conflict. Do you think the judge has a stake in the case? Do you think maybe it would behoove him, the Democratic Party, or his daughter, if somehow the leading GOP bellwether saint, the symbol of the 2024 GOP juggernaut, do you think it might benefit him and or his daughter if somehow this fellow ended up in prison or jail or was decommissioned? I think so. I think many people would say, out of an abundance of caution and out of respect for the bench and the public's respect for what we're doing, I'm going to be stepping down. Let somebody else do it. Whoever the next judge is, who knows? But if that's what you want, if that's your position, I'll recuse myself. But that's moot at this particular point. And I wouldn't be surprised if anybody, whether it's Tish James, Fannie Willis, or Judge Mershon, was told in one way or another, sky's the limit. Were you to return the scalp? Not Kathy Griffin mock, but the figurative, to be responsible for finally shuttering, scuttling, destroying the movement, the progression of the greatest threat to woke, radical left, Democratic policy and shadow government lunacy ever. So, Judge Mershon, you seem to be a very wise man. Use this threat, which everybody understands the threat could be made, but use the application of the threat wisely. Use it carefully. Because what happens is, as you'll find, and as most have found out, that when it comes to Trump, what does not destroy him really, honestly, truly makes him stronger. Thank you, dear Patriot. Thank you for watching. Please honor me with subscribing if you haven't already. Please like this video. Please hit that little bell if you're to be notified of live streams and new videos. And whatever you do, I beg, beseech, import you, and ask that you comment. Comment accordingly as you see fit.